Check, check. Test, test. Micro test. Okay, it works. If it sounds like I'm in a church or something, just drop a line, please. Because I was a little bit surprised about the audio quality in my last analysis. Inspo went for a beer. No, Julieta, for a Cuba Libre, to be honest. It's Saturday. I mean, all people here just went out to make some barbecues and watch football, so soccer for the American followers. I even missed that today is football, to be honest. So it seems you sound good, your last video. Yeah, my last video was, I don't know what happened there. Something changed in my settings or something. I really don't know. I today I'm very I'm struggling with everything I'm checking on data related to crypto, to be honest. But it's weekend, so it shouldn't surprise us. I think the market makers are just working on their next operation because I was detecting something that looks very interesting. We will talk about that. Sí, lo sé, Julieta, lo sé. Pero ya te digo, lo mío no era una broma, no cerveza, un Cuba Libre. Uno el fin de semana para tener un poco de, pues un poco de feeling así de vacaciones. Okay. So, it's 1 minute left. As you know, I'm German, so I need to wait this minute. Yeah, son, I don't know actually what happened to my mic. As I was working just before and I'm using Skype and sometimes Teams and whatever, sometimes that can happen. Gin tonic. Wow, suena muy bien. También me gusta, pero prefiero el Cuba Libre. Okay, then let us begin, I would say. So, first of all, thank you for watching. Welcome to the Saturday's crazy Bitcoin market analysis by Inspo. Welcome to all Twitch watchers and, of course, YouTube, of course, Discord. Let us check what's happening today, what we can expect maybe this weekend. As you know, I have tweeted about that. I'm short-term bullish, but we need to see because I have detected some data related to the market makers that let me struggle a little bit if they are not fooling us to nuke afterwards. I hope it's not going to happen, but we need to see. So let us start with the weights ratio, and you know, for me the weights ratio 30 days moving average, it's actually the most accurate and in my opinion the most powerful indicator when it comes to detect the sentiment of whales. I need my super tool here. Okay, now it works. So we reached 22%. I mentioned that. It's a little bit less than last year. It seems it has started to decline, but I'm not convinced because last time I thought we reached the top and it wasn't the top. So we need to be very careful with that because whales ratio is indicating a big nuke is going to happen, or at least a big sell pressure. Last year, the good thing was we didn't have any lack of demand. That's something that changed since last year. Even the monetary policy changed and so on and so forth. So last year it was much more required to spread some food, some not food, of course, FUD, um, just to bring some fear to the market, and of course to nuke aggressively. That's something they don't need to, because oh, you don't see the charts, of course not. Thanks, YouTube. Now you see that. Um, so the thing is, we really don't know what's going to be the consequence of this high waste ratio. I know last year what happened. I analyzed this situation several times, and this time it's another story, and I'm struggling what could happen, because we are at 29,600 right now. That's a very low level. So if they're going to push the price more down with a lot of tokens, with the lack of demand that we have at the moment, um, that could be really crazy. And since last year I'm saying 24K is my favorite level, just because we have still a remaining CME gap there between 24 and 26, as the market is becoming more important related to derivative assets like futures and options. It would make sense, at least for the future market. And I mean, it generates almost 66% of the whole daily volume related to Bitcoin. It makes sense to fill such gaps. In my opinion, all this gap filling crap doesn't make any sense, because it doesn't have any impact or consequences for the market price. But some institutionals like to fill these gaps, and maybe that's the case here as well. So it's just a theory. So let's just take a look to the waste ratio 30 hours moving average. At the moment, the waste ratio maintains a level of 85. It keeps being very high, but it's okay. I mean, 100% is the maximum, of course. The waste ratio is hitting now 90%. That's the 30 hours moving average. As you can see right now, it's lifting up again after a decline from 92. So they just did a little break, but it seems they are sending bitcoins again to exchanges. Also here we can see that the stablecoin reserves on exchanges didn't lift up anymore. So it's declining even a little bit more, and we did just in almost 2 weeks 1.5 billion less stablecoin reserves on centralized exchanges. That's a lot. That's really a lot. And at the same time, we see here that the stablecoin supply, it was rising all the time, and since then it's even declining a little bit. I would more say it's stable. It maintains on a stable level. However, we are far away from the peak of the stablecoin supply, so we lost something like 10% of the market cap, and we didn't recover all this 10%, maybe 1%, 2% or something. So yeah, it maintains bearish related or based on the waste ratio. The good news is related to the flow activity. For example, here tonight we have detected just 3,700 Bitcoin outflow. That means someone bought those Bitcoins, are withdrawing these, or they send Bitcoins to the exchanges and changed the plan. Instead of sell, just remain this for, I don't know, a period of time. They took them off from the exchanges. That would be two possible scenarios. Usually they sold them already. And it makes sense because we had this dump already and we didn't really notice any big outflow, so it makes sense that they maintained these bitcoins there. Maybe they bought a little bit more and they are taking them out. But the inflow activity declined a lot. So today we had 1,800 bitcoins. That was midnight. And since then, the biggest volume was 480 bitcoins. So that's nothing. At the moment, it's lifting up a little bit, but we are talking about 300 bitcoin. Sounds very like that's nothing. But I have tweeted about, for example, Coinbase volume and even Binance volume. I mean, we had one candle today on Coinbase with in 1 hour volume of 66 Bitcoin. 66 Bitcoin. That's, wow. That's absolutely not healthy. Of course, it's weekend and maybe people are enjoying the sun instead. That's maybe the best plan, but I never have seen on Coinbase such low volume, not even in 1 hour candle. So I was a little bit shocked, to be honest. And yes, of course, Binance looks a little bit better with 400, 500 Bitcoin per hour, but even that, it's not really big. So compared to the current volume, 316 Bitcoin doesn't sound a lot, but it's enough to let the price decline a little bit. At the same time, we received at 3 hours after we received those 1,800 Bitcoin, 98 million US dollars in stablecoin and an outflow of 84 million. So if we check, for example, the stablecoin net flow, it shows it's a little bit more green, but that's really, it's flat. So since Friday, nothing happening. But we know that, let us check, that's actually here. We still have a lot of Bitcoins that we have accumulated on spot exchanges in the last 2 weeks. It was plus 70,000 Bitcoins, and we have declined those by, let me see, I think that was 15 or 16. So 186, yeah, 16,000 Bitcoin. Means we still have 54,000 Bitcoin here. And nobody knows exactly why. Okay, are they waiting for a special situation, opportunity? Are they expecting that the price goes up to sell the way up? Something whales love to do? Or is that just the next preparation for the next nuke? And our goal and mission is to figure out, yeah, if that's a preparation for nuke, or if that's really maybe just a preparation because they know Bitcoin is going up again and they want to distribute the way up. That's our mission today. So let us go forward and let us check, for example, here the future chart. And now I would like to talk about market makers. Let me see, because I always have that issue here. We need the 0 and 2. Okay, so great. I have tweeted about that, that I have detected 11,000 bitcoins within 2 hours. And even just an hour ago or 2 hours ago, we received another 3,800 bitcoin, but at the same time, we can detect here an outflow of 5,100 bitcoin. So it seems that's always a very short-term trade what they are doing. So we receive 5,500 bitcoin. the funding rate was lifting up, so indicating they were demanding more longs. An hour later, we received another 5,400 Bitcoin, but 5,300 Bitcoin just left the exchange. Okay, but the funding rate was lifting up, so indicating they were demanding more longs than shorts. Now here, just 2 hours later, they are taking out again 5,000 Bitcoin, but sending another 3,800 Bitcoin. And at the moment, the funding rate, at least, I mean, that's really a tiny change. We need to check the block time frame maybe to see if the funding rate it's declining. It looks like it's declining a little bit at the moment. CryptoQuant, thank you very much. So let us check if we can find those 5,000. Here, 3,500 Bitcoin, and since then it looks like the funding rate is declining. The thing is, what happened here? And that's something I really don't know, because I would say those 11,000 Bitcoin are neutralized, so they send them back out of the exchange. But that's something I can't really check. At the same time, and I have a theory, I have checked the fund flows of different exchanges here. And we know that the market maker loves to use Binance. Julieta, the sound cut, right? You can't hear me anymore? Please just confirm if you can hear me or not. Because here looks everything normal. Okay, I don't see any confirmation, so I just go forward here. So we know that the market maker likes to use Binance, and we see here a big fund flow. What does that mean? Well, usually if you have a fund flow on exchanges, in that case Binance, it means they're shifting Bitcoins, or in that case that's Bitcoins, within the exchange. For example, we separate derivative exchanges from spot exchanges. Binance is both. Binance has a derivative part and a spot part. So they separate just both parts related to the wallets. Binance has wallets linked to derivatives, so futures, and has wallets linked to spots. It's not always the same wallet. When I see that, but I don't see any big outflow or any big inflow, means someone is shifting big Bitcoins within the exchange. For example, sending from derivative wallet within Binance to spot wallets. And if I'm right, that would at least confirm a little bit my theory that the market maker just sent today those Bitcoins to derivative exchanges, too long, short term, just short term, maybe using enough leverage ratio, so they go long with their Bitcoin futures, they close them, they take out their, well, assets, and I mean those they used too long, but they let those Bitcoins, so their gain on the exchange. I mean, if they make this, that would be extremely clever, because we can't see that, right? We just see they sent 11,000 Bitcoin, they take out 11,000 Bitcoin, and we think it's done. Yeah, and what's about their gain? I mean, it's not an authorized trade. They are going to make gains. And they get bitcoins for that. Not tethers, not BUSDs or something else, just bitcoins. Where are these bitcoins? And in my opinion, that's of course just a theory, because if we take a look to the open interest dumped a lot after here, indicating they closed a lot of contracts, so they are done. But what's with the gap? What's with all the gains they did with this operation? Maintains in the exchange, and they can nuke with that without any problem, and they would surprise us, because we are waiting for some inflows or maybe even outflows. We can't see that, but we can track that. We can try to see if we find, for example, such a huge fund flow on Binance, but we don't see any big flow activity out, out from Binance or to Binance. That would mean they are shifting some bitcoins from one wallet in Binance to the other one. So that's something I have detected, and we need to track that. You can see the fund flow activity here for centralized exchanges is rising because of Binance. So it has to be a big one. Now imagine if these guys and the market maker is mainly with the lack of demand we have and with such a low volume we have today, if they start to long and they make their gain, for example, they used 11,000 Bitcoin and they did with this 11,000 Bitcoin another 5,000 Bitcoin. They take out this 11,000 Bitcoin, but they let this 5,000 Bitcoin on Binance shift to a spot wallet and wait. When nobody is expecting it, they start to sell. And we will say, what the hell is going on? Where is this Bitcoins coming from? It's of course, we don't have anything to prove that, of course. And that's the big and huge problem we have. But it matches very well. At the same time, someone asked me, hey, Inspo, how do you know that this 11,000 Bitcoin came, for example, from the market maker? Well, because we can track that. And look what they did. That's the fund flow related to entities with 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin, classified by Inspo as market makers, just because of their trade behavior. They trade very accurately, so they know everything. They know where's the top, they know where's the dip, they know everything. So at least they have information advantage. If we check here, they had a fund flow of 5,000 Bitcoins. An hour later, a fund flow of another 5,000 Bitcoins. Then 1 hour break, you remember. An hour later, oh, see, another fund flow of 3,500 Bitcoin. If we compare that again, we go back to our future chart, we see it's exactly the same. 5,500 Bitcoin here, 5,400 Bitcoin here, and 2 hours later, another 3,800 Bitcoin. So it seems the market maker just sent those Bitcoins there. The thing is, all these outflows are not here. Otherwise, we should see these outflows also related to the market makers. And it's not. So it seems all these, we are talking now about 14,000 Bitcoins, are still maybe on the exchange. That's my interpretation at the moment, because we can see here some outflows, but we can't see any fund flow related to these entities. So that's something we can track. That's at least another approach to try to track these guys and to see what's going on. For me, Bitcoin collateral futures are bullish because if you're going to short with this asset, your underlying asset, it's declining in value while you are shorting. Of course, you're going to make gain, but if you want to optimize your gain, you would use stablecoin futures instead, right? And not the asset that's going, yeah, that you are going to short. So, yeah, we need to see what's going on, but for me, that looks more bullish than bearish. But we need to see what they are doing with the gains. And that's something I'm struggling a little bit. If we check, for example, the market makers at the moment, you see, I have tweeted about that. It went up and it declined by 10,000 Bitcoin. Also, that matches very well to the Bitcoin they send to derivative exchanges. But we don't know what they do with it, with these Bitcoins on derivative exchanges. In my opinion, that was short-term operation just to generate more Bitcoins, hide them because it maintains on the centralized exchange. We can see that. The only thing we can see is if they switch or they shift from derivative wallet to spot wallet, and that would be extremely bearish because that means just they are done. That's for them just nuke for less, for free, because they didn't pay any cent for all these Bitcoins. Yeah, that's of course we need. That's a nice approach, I think, and we need to track them even more. So I will track them. I will see if I can find any other data that let me show if these guys are shifting all these Bitcoins to the spot exchanges, because then it's clearly for me we will nuke next. At the moment, it looks like with such funding rate demanding huge amount more of longs than shorts, that we are going up. I mean, go up, sell the top, why not? It's another approach, isn't it? So we need to see. Let me show you here. The funding rate was declining. It lifted up very crazy. At the moment, it's demanding more shorts than longs. At the same time, the leverage ratio dumped hard. Also very interesting. Could indicate these guys are using very, very low leverage maybe, because 14,000 Bitcoin, it's really big volume. And as mentioned, the open interest just declined hard. So they closed a lot of contracts. And afterwards, the funding rate just went up. So the question is really how to interpret the whole situation. In my opinion, these guys are preparing. To be honest, I still think 32K and dump afterwards again. Because if we zoom out and we just change, for example, to 12 hours time frame, let me do that. Oh, also interesting what they are doing. Okay. We change to the 12 hours, for example. Now imagine what would happen if they go up again, maintain here, retest, and fail. And that's something I'm absolutely not a TA expert. I'm far away of that. But they love to use very trivial TA patterns. Double top, double bottom, sometimes head and shoulders. Really, bear flags, bull flags. So really simple patterns. And just imagine if they do that, that's a double top, and we will decline hard afterwards. But as I usually say, we need to see. To be honest, I like to see that Bitcoin is declining again, because here they triggered my stop loss for my long. I was really pissed because of that. But let me see. So, okay, we had futures, we had flow activity, weights ratio. Let us check what the miners are doing. The miners are chilling at the moment, so nothing big happening. They are not ready to sell here. The last big sell happened here, that was May 12th, and it seems they reduced their balances by 4,300 Bitcoin, and that's it. So it looks very okay. OTC, it's declining. So the OTC, that's not an accurate indicator, to be honest, but that's the gap between both. This here is indicating you the activity of centralized exchanges, and that's indicating you the whole Bitcoin network. If you see here, for example, a big centralized exchange activity, and here nothing, usually that means they are using more centralized exchanges than OTC. If you see both, for example, it means they are using both, and that's something that the market maker loves to do. They use both ways. But at the moment, the network activity, it's almost flat, so not indicating any big thing here. So let us go forward. Let me check. Well, yeah, redeemed USDC. I have talked about that as well. Then let us go forward to Blockchain Whispers. I refresh the website. So, oops. And so here we have still 67% more longs than shorts. So we have the ratio was a little bit higher just an hour before, but 66 to 32. Well, Bitfinex, I don't care. But, and the same here. Ethereum longs shorts 70 to 30. And even here 80 to 20. So that looks very bullish. Bullish, I mean the sentiment. Future traders are expecting we go up. Even I'm expecting we will go up, and that's why I'm struggling right now. Also because of this operation, what the market maker did. I hope also his plan is to lift up the price to 32, maybe even more. I don't care. I really don't care if we are going to 36 to close the upper CME gap or just to 32. We just need to figure out and to make money with that. That's our goal. So let us take a look, for example, here to FTX. I thought they add Bitfinex. Huh. Okay. Then let us take a look to FTX, because I think FTX is one of the main drivers here of the market. Okay. That changed a lot since yesterday. So, of course, we still have more longs than shorts, but they are accumulating high leverage shorts. And we don't have any big high leverage longs at the moment on FTX, just low leverage. So yeah, let me see. That's okay, 31k, maybe 30k. Let me see, until 30,200. So yeah, we need to see. So maybe we go up. I mean, would make sense. Why not? We need to see if they are protecting these shorts here, because if they are protecting these shorts with spot walls or something, that could be an indicator that these guys, so whales, Sam, my favorite, my best friend in crypto, is actually shorting with high leverage. Let us take a look to the options. I think that's going to be a very quick chapter because it's Saturday. Usually they have low volume then. We see here at 32K a rising gamma call wall, and at 30K the huge gamma call and put wall, both at the moment working like a resistance. We have noticed that they tried to pump up, and immediately afterwards we received a push back with a rising sell pressure. So 30K could be a challenge, 32K maybe as well. We need to see. I guess they need a lot of stablecoins for that if they want to buy spot. I'm just thinking right now about my theory that they are making gains with Bitcoin collateral. Now imagine they take the, but it wouldn't make any sense in my opinion. They take these Bitcoins and convert these Bitcoins in USDT to buy Bitcoins afterwards, but it wouldn't make sense. I mean, they need to buy spot to lift up in price, so only futures wouldn't work in my opinion, but it would make sense. That was just an idea. If we take a look to the GAX is negative. That means, let us take a look what happened in the past. Okay, we are still in a very, yeah, that's middle level. We can go down even more, but also up. It's not a critical zone at the moment, not related to the GAX. Let us take a look to the strategies. What happened in the last 24 hours? Yeah, short straddle 350, bear call spread 200, so nothing big. We can take a look here in the last 24 hours if something happened. Okay, they bought a lot of puts, 29K, and they closed a lot of calls at 30K. That's also bearish. Let us take a look what these guys are doing. Jesus. 2,460 lots for June 24th expiry puts 25K. The next one, it's 1,700. I mean, they're out of the money, but doesn't matter. July 29th, 26,000 Bitcoin price puts. So they really think we are going to dump below 25K. That would match with my vision of C24K and maybe fill the gap there. So we have to see, and patience is key as usual. So, short straddle. Show me something big. Oh, they sold. Yeah, why not? Huh. Was that maybe the reason why they pushed up to 30K today? Let me check if they reached 30K. Almost. Hmm. Look, that was yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday. They closed yesterday, so it does make sense. I mean, put 30K, call 30K. That's usually indicating these guys don't know really we are going up or down. So they did, I guess, a very tiny gain with that. Okay, long straddle. They both, yeah, it's not big, but they put 30K. It's just, yeah, because of the premium, it's really expensive. and beer cold spread. Mm, for mid of June. Okay, that's bullish at least. I mean, that's unfortunately not really. That's the problem right now, and that's why I don't like such kind of trades. He sold his call 30K today, and he received 60K, 62K in premium for that, and just reinvested 15K for call 33K. If that would be the opposite, I would say, oh, maybe this guy knows something, but not in that case. Not in that case. So not really useful. We just see that they are still expecting. I mean, we are talking here about really big money. You remember just a few days ago, I have detected this 1.5 million just in premium for the 25K put end of June. And usually when they are starting to trade high volume, it means they know something. So I really still hope we can go up to 32K, make this scenario of the double top and they nuke. For me, okay, 24K, let us make there the double bottom and then go up again. But yeah, as usual, we need to see. Let us go and take a look to this chart here just to detect what exactly is driving the market right now. If we take the 30 minutes, I mean, that's interesting. Okay. If we take a look to the 30 minutes, we can see what FTX is doing. I don't know actually what FTX is doing. I'm still waiting that Sam gives me a call once and say, hey, Inspo, I tell you in detail what is our plan, but it's not happening. And they sold more when the price was below 28K than they purchased later in an upper price level. It doesn't make sense. That just makes sense. That's something that an institutional would do. They, as you know, they love to trade sideways and yeah, and accumulate. It doesn't matter what the price is, accumulate quick and then nuke with that to generate fear. Something I'm still missing. I'm still missing this very aggressive dump and nuke like we had last year. It's not happening here, maybe because of the lack of demand. I'm not sure. And we know that the situation also with crypto exchanges, it's becoming very serious. We had Coinbase making or expanding their posts of hiring, Gemini reducing 10% of their staff, and even this company, I don't remember now if it was from Dubai, also reducing their staff because they have to reduce their fixed costs. It seems they don't see the next bullish, I mean, the next bull run just in the next few next month. Otherwise, they wouldn't do that. So something is changing, and at the moment, if I take a look what they did, uh, it's more, I would say, spot and stablecoin futures driven. And it's actually very interesting what the aggregated spot CBD is doing, like FTX from here. They are buying. And they use, for example, sometimes because even here they didn't sell. They sell here the aggregated spot. That's mainly the market maker because I can show you. As soon as I start to take out everything, and that's Binance. Oh no, now they are surprising me. Who is selling? Okay, that's Bitfinex. Crazy. I mean, not really big, but crazy. Well, Coinbase is buying all the time, mainly, but someone big is here. Gemini just sideways. Kraken. And Femex selling, selling, selling. Okay, that's really interesting. I have to check afterwards. Maybe I will tweet about that. Maybe it's, but just, I don't know why it's lifting up because it's not Binance. And it's Bitfinex, it's FTX, and Coinbase. So these three are driving at the moment the aggregated spot CBD. However, it indicates they are buying, and that's usually something. Why? Why are they quick accumulating, or is that the start of an accumulation phase? That would be extremely bullish, in my opinion, because they are, as you can see here, I mean, they are pushing down a little bit the price while they can buy, and that's bullish. That's usually bullish. The question is, are these guys hiding their accumulation, just hiding it because they want to nuke with that later on? That would be a very usual strategy of institutionals. But I remember last year FTX wasn't doing that. But I know that in the recent times FTX has new friends in the Wall Street. One of them is Goldman. So we need to see what's going to happen here. And you can see if we are going to zoom out a little bit. Look that. I mean, the FTX, the CBD, just wow. I mean, we are talking about 24,000 bitcoins in just CBD gap. That's really big. At the same time, we can see here, well, 27,000 Bitcoin aggregated spot, and that's mainly Binance, Femex, so the remaining exchanges. And yes, at the moment, you can see, and that's if you take a look to that chart, if you take a look to that chart, you know what's happening. And they use just stablecoin futures mainly to drive the market. So we have talked about the market makers already. We have checked this here. Usually I would expect if FTX it's just buying. I know that last year FTX had, in my opinion, a lack of liquidity. And I mean the company. I remember they had an if that was a round for investors and they were requesting 500 million US dollars. The last announcement by FTX was like, hey, we have now billions and billions and billions and we don't know what to make with all this money. My question was, where is this money coming from? What changed since last year? And I remember they acquired a derivative company last year, and by Sam and FTX, they never ever talked about this company again. I really don't know what FTX is doing at the moment, to be honest, and that's why I can't interpret really what they are doing here. But I mean, we are not talking about few thousands. We are really talking about big. If institutionals want to nuke the market really crazy, then that's going to be a nice preparation because, wow, that's really big. So we really need to see. Let us check the exchange walls. And we still have in mind the big FTX high leverage short positions. So Coinbase still here waiting at 28, nothing up. We have here at 35, but if we check here, that's really huge. They are still waiting there if something is happening, and they reduced here their volume at 35. Deribit still waiting here. I mean, take a look to that here. That's really insane. They want to sell and sell and sell and sell. I don't know. We are missing something. Bitstamp also waiting here, but nothing up. Binance Spot. Spoofing. In my opinion, that's also the market maker. They are spoofing with exactly the same amount of bitcoins. Again, 2,100 bitcoins. You will see those 2,100 bitcoins every time. Well, it was 1,800 here, but 2,100 here, 2,100 here, 2,100 here. It's just spoofing. They are not just buying or selling, it's just spoofing, nothing else. And in my opinion, that's the market maker. But Bitfinex Spot, still waiting there. I mean, that looks, it's tiny. That's big for Bitfinex usually, but we know we need to be very careful with Bitfinex because they are hiring orders. There are hiding orders. That's a new feature that they have. We can't see every order book from them. If they perp, so futures, still at 35, and here between 26 and 25, waiting, also not big. We are talking maybe about 1,000, 1,200 bitcoins or something. Kraken, they started here again at 26, but nothing big. Bybit, I like them. I never have seen any kind of spoofing or algo activity here. I like that. BitMEX, waiting at 28 and 35. Binance Futures, also here waiting at 28.8 with this wall, and that's, yeah, almost 2,100 Bitcoin, and waiting here between 28,900 and 28,800. Nothing really up, just here a little bit at 31 and another one at 3,500. So, but no big, even here at 30,500. Waiting here. So, but nothing big. A lot of activity, and you can see what they are doing. So they are really, the market, almost the whole market, it's happening on Binance at the moment. Bitfinex derivatives waiting here at 31.5, and we have here at 28 to 27 a cluster of tiny orders. Kraken futures, nothing, and finally FTX spot. So now let us take a look if they are maybe, no, I don't see any wall here, anything. So they are not protecting this high leverage shorts. 29, but also just 120 Bitcoin, and of course here at 25, and that's it. Well, let us go back here Um, as you see, I was prepared for both. I wanted to see what exactly is the price indicating, so the price action, and that's why I have here two different scenarios. A very bearish one, the bear flag, and at least something that could be bullish. Bullish in case of go up, have our breakout, and that's it. And oh, sorry, they surprised me a little bit with it with that action here, and I'm still struggling to be honest because yeah, it seems like it's a bear flag at the moment, so we should go up maybe next if we don't have a breakout here, and go up maybe again hitting 30K, and then maybe again down. That would be the consequence at least of this pattern. Usually Saturday it's not the big day for price action. It's Sunday. It's Saturday night to Sunday, and well, so I would expect maybe in the next few hours the first big moves if it happens, but it can happen in 12 hours again. So that's usually what happened in the last few weeks. Saturday it's really a very quiet day, but Sunday it starts. So I need to see if I'm going to long again. That would be a nice area, I think, to long again, just because of the bear flag. Then we would go up, and I mean that's a solid. If we don't have a breakout right now here, and I'm totally wrong, and they say, "Oh, Saturday, let us nuke the market on Saturday," but otherwise, I would say even if this here plays out or this here plays out, the price should go up afterwards. So to make a quick gain, maybe it would be interesting to long from here. And yeah, I'm still, 30K, 32K are the gamma walls. Both are big. So we have two challenges and two resistance, 32K and 30K. We need to cross and to have a breakout at 30K, and the next one 32K. In my opinion, we will fail the 32K and we will form this double top in the 12 hours time frame and nuke hard afterwards. In my opinion, that would make sense. But of course, I'm not the whale, I'm not the market maker. So I'm just trying to figure out what these guys are doing. 28,500, it's still my extremely critical and bearish scenario and level, because we failed there several times. Every time they pushed up very quick, because this 28.5, it's the big wall indicating hell or heaven. So we are at the moment in heaven, but if we lose 28.5, we will see at least that area here. And no, sorry, that area here. So in case we really, that's a bear flag, we go up, down, and tomorrow makes that here. We go down, we go up again, we fail the retest, and we go down. At least I would expect here a bounce, double, a really huge double bottom, and then go up like a rocket. At the same time, I want to see that they start to accumulate their way down. And maybe we maintain here a little bit like last year to accumulate quick and then go up. That would be, in my opinion, the best scenario. But option traders don't agree with me because they are indicating, Inspo, we are going even lower. If that's the case, we need to see. We really then need to see. So I will be prepared. I will see what's going to happen here. If I see we are losing the bear flag, we are going down, we have a breakout, we have our clean retest, it fails and we go down, I will short and short and short, wait what's happening at 28.5. If we have our retest there, we fail, we go down, I will go all in my short. Of course, always, I mean, my liquidation price, if I start here to short and I add more here, my liquidation price will be here. Sorry, not here. My entry price, not my liquidation price. My entry price will be here, and that's going to be my stop loss. So I'm not going to make any loss in case we go up afterwards again. Okay, that's what I do. That's to minimize the risk to make any loss, for example. So, but in case, and that's the ultra bearish, if we go down, we need such retest. It's absolutely necessary. If we don't do that, like we did that here, for example, we had our retest, it went up, okay, so it was a little bit trap. Many went shorts here, it went up, that was the bull trap, and then we went down again. And if we zoom in, for example, we can see they did their retest. So always, before you short, before you long, whatever, always check the retest. You see the retest here. It went up, retested, it failed, nuke. And that's exactly what I'm waiting for. Also here. So in case this ultra bearish scenario plays out, I will wait to have this clean retest at 28.5. If it fails, it will nuke afterwards. It's absolutely obvious that will happen. And then we need to see what's going to happen. If we still don't detect any stablecoin inflows, and I'm not talking about 100 million, 200 million, then I'm talking about 300 million, 400 million and more, then we will see new lows. And yeah, something actually at the moment I'm not expecting, but we need to see. My bullish scenario, that here is just a trap. Tomorrow we could go up. Okay, you know my 32K scenario of the double top, but in case 32K retest here, then it's not a resistance here anymore. It's going to flip to a support. Then it should fail here. Maybe they retest again, fail here, and then up. And up means 35, 36 to close or to fill the CME gap there. That's it. That's it. And I'm talking since 1 hour and 20 minutes. Wow. I need to drink more, I guess. Okay. So I will check. Mughal is not here today. So I will check actually your questions. And maybe I should trade. Let me see just a moment. I'm sorry, but I'm a trader, so no big inflows. Okay. hmm Okay. Yeah, then just give me a second. And let us start. As said, sorry, it's usually not my Okay, let us see if that works or not. If they have our breakout here, I will make a tiny loss, but in my opinion, we will go up afterwards. So let us see what's going to happen next. Good. Then let me check all your questions and I will try to reply to all of you. So first of all, let me see. I go directly now to YouTube first. Okay, great. So let us see. I have to scroll a little bit. And where are the questions? I think last video. Isan, can I say something? Yes, of course. We are only checking BTC. However, in a lot of exchanges, you can change BTC to a lot of other crypto like ETH. If the goal is to hide activity, it's so easy to change that. Yeah, I know. But I mean, the only thing I'm doing is, for example, checking ETH on blockchain whispers, and that's it. But of course, you can do that. You can track, you can see if they are converting bitcoins to Ethereum or to other assets. But I mean, sorry, bro. Also, my day just have 24 hours. That will take a lot of time then. So I know what you mean, and you are absolutely right. However, flow activity, it's really not 100% accurate. I'm just analyzing almost every aspect of trade tools of the market makers. So even if they make this kind of strategy, usually I would expect to see that. I don't care if they are converting bitcoins to Ethereum or whatever. So, also, when will the website be live? Big Sam, um, well, I will have a call just in 1 hour with the chief developers. I can't tell you now, right now, if that takes 4 weeks or 6 weeks, but yeah, I think that's the range. I will treat. I have said as soon we have a plan with a date, with a finalized roadmap, I will tweet about that. We have actually the brand, we have the logo, we have the design, and even we also have a Twitter account that's hidden yet. But as soon as we have all this information, we will treat that with a new account. I mean, Inspo is going to keep Inspo and George is going to keep George, but it's a corporation. We will merge together and we will also treat on Phoenicia. Phoenicia is going to be the new brand. So, yeah. FTX has some connection with Qatar, that's why they have tons of money. Yeah, Muran. I know, I know. Um, okay, another question. Hi, thank you for good analyst. What you mean about exhaustion gaps tonight? Can it happen? In my opinion, it's very possible. I don't really know what you mean with the gaps, mate. Maybe you can, yeah, tell me more about that. Isan, Inspo, can I have few requests? Questions 1. What exchange do you trade? KuCoin. And I was trading on Binance. I wasn't really satisfied with Binance because of their server problems and their internet performance. But uh, the high liquidity was extremely nice there. And now I'm on KuCoin, and it feels like KuCoin is investing in hardware or something. At least the performance, it's getting better there. I don't like all the future features they have. I'm still missing some. So, for example, I just can place one order. I, I can't go long and short at the same time. Okay, and that's something I don't like. They announced they will bring that feature as well, but I don't know how long that takes. However, KuCoin and OKEX, no, not OKEX, OKX. I hope that was clear, but mainly KuCoin. So let me see. Would you make a video about your favorite indicators and TradingView, and what interests you in those indicators? To be honest, Esan, that would be a very short video then, because all my indicators, I'm much more the metric guy. I really much more the metric guy. Gay guy means many people don't believe me, but when I say no, my whole trade strategy is based on metrics. I say that's not possible. Yes, it is possible. I just checked the chart just to see some entries, support and resistance. It's so simple, but all my stuff, my whole strategy is based on option trading, future trading, and metrics. That's it. That's really it. So when people come and say, oh, just be careful because we have the weekly 200 moving average, and I say, okay, but I don't care, but because it's not my world. My world, it's absolutely different. My world is just to track the market maker. That's everything. I mean, it's supply and demand and what the big money is going to do. That's it. And that's my whole key. My my that's it. I don't care about any moving averages, because moving averages, in my opinion, are showing you the history. It can show you patterns, but they are to break. So, like I did, for example, just right now, and that was a live example of how I trade. I checked first inflows, I checked futures, so how is the long-short ratio? Is longs rising? I checked the funding rate and the open interest. Well, and I did the whole analysis already, so I know nothing big on options, no big stablecoin inflows. Then I checked the chart where I have some trend lines there, just to see my entries, and that's it. So, and in my opinion, I'm very not 100% accurate. As you know, they wrecked me with my long, okay, and it hurted really, but I would say I'm relatively very successful making it. I'm not going to change that because I'm very happy. So I would say almost 80% of all my trades are successful. The problem is greed is an asshole, and even Inspo is not free of greed, fear. That's the problem. And for me, that helps a lot. That's a little bit of a therapy, because I can put all the fear and the greed aside, just checking the data. The data is the big shadow. It's indicating me, Inspo, everything is cool. Nothing big is happening. And when I have my doubts, also the data helps me. That's my approach. It is possible if you are Inspo. Thank you so much for answering everything. Love you and love your work. Thank you very much. Thank you, Esan. And I know I will support your community. I told you, man, I'm sorry we didn't chat like I wanted to do with you, but you know I'm going to support you guys, and we will talk about that when the website is online. We will make workshops there. We will upload a lot of tons of videos. We are going to create and to launch new metric indicators and so on and so forth. And I will take you on board, and we'll share all this information for you so you can support your people as well. Okay? Big love to you as well, my friend. Uh, Julieta, yes, exactly. Yes, that's exactly. Sí, se llamará Fenicia por la tierra de Sidón de los antiguos. Exacto. So yeah, we are clever, even if it's about to find the name for their next brand. So let me check the Discord channel if I can find any questions there as well. And I can find. Hi, Inspo. Three questions. By checking weights ratio, you may assume a movement, preparation, progress, but not necessarily a directionality of that movement. No. No, I can stop here a little bit. No. A preparation for dumps. So it's only a one-way street, the weights ratio. If the weights ratio is high and it's rising and rising and rising, means weights are preparing something, because the only thing that the weights ratio is indicating you is the ratio of how much of all bitcoins coming into centralized exchanges are linked to weights. That's the only thing it's really trivial and simple, but yeah, really powerful. So it is indicating you the direction of the next movement. The question is when. And that's the problem we have with the weights ratio. The weights ratio is not covering the timing factor. It's just telling you since 2 weeks they are preparing a big move downwards. It's not telling you when. That's the big problem we have with the weights ratio, and that's why we need as well just to check other informations as well. Which indicators do you consider most important to try to define the next trend? Options, futures, as mentioned. I mean, futures alone makes 66% of the whole daily Bitcoin volume. Funding rates, long shorts ratio, and I'm not talking because many people are saying long shorts ratio for the last 24 hours looks bullish. I don't care. I mean, it's nice to know the sentiment of future traders of the last 24 hours, but the most important thing is in general, so without any time, how much longs or shorts are active right now in general. And that's why I love to use blockchain whispers, because they are showing you that on Binance you have at the moment $1.6 billion in longs and just 800 million in shorts. That's the main thing. So that's indicating me in general is the sentiment bullish and not bearish. While all these long-short ratio with time limitations indicates you just the sentiment for a period of time, but I don't want to see the period of time. I don't care about that. So that's one of the, yeah, I wouldn't say the most important, but one piece of the whole construct that helps me to find any trends, and of course option trading. If I see in option trading, for example, also when it comes to resistance and support, and I know between 32 and 30K, and we are lifting up, and I don't see any big stablecoin inflows, I know they will fail to have its breakout 32K because it's a big resistance, like it's at the moment 30K. So they need to push very hard just to have its breakout there. As mentioned many times, I'm not the guy, I'm not using one indicator or two indicator, and that's why my daily analysis, just absorb many time every day, just because I need many data and informations to make a conclusion at the end of the day. Your second question, do you consider useful to check long-short positions, to follow them or open an opposite position, or maybe to obtain other conclusions? Yes and no. Also here it depends on the market situation. Long-short ratio is helpful. It's helpful just because if you know, for example, that the market conditions, it's not in favor of exchanges. So we know the volume is very tiny at the moment. It's very low. And that's actually one of the part where exchanges makes money. So when you see that these guys are making less money, it's for them more important to find alternative income sources. One of them is to liquidate you, to be honest. So they will take a look to high leverage positions to liquidate you as much as they can, because any liquidated future means for them money. That's cash. Okay, that goes directly to their insurance funds. So it's cash. And you know, I mean, the volume at the moment, it's really, really, really low. And so for them, it's, a birthday present to go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, because they are liquidating a lot of people. And the third and last question, at present moment, there's a spread of approximately $12 on Binance Spot versus futures. Spot price is almost $12 higher. Could be possible that are trading the spread? You mean the gap, the price differential arbitrage? I mean, market makers or institutionals like to make arbitrage deals because that's like what they are doing with the inflation right now. I mean, institutionals, banks, insurances, they are making billions and billions now just with inflation. Many people think, oh, inflation, that's crappy, that's evil. Yeah, for us, but not for them. I mean, it's a risky game, but they did that in the past as well. They can make billions and billions and billions of US dollars with inflation. Arbitrage is something also where you can make with almost zero risk good money, but you need a lot of volume. Taking into account that the monetary policy is going to suck a lot of capital, I think they will trade less arbitrage in the future. That's my opinion. We need to see, of course, but yeah. Okay, guys. Okay, Moby Dick. Last question for my for my friend Inspo. Max leverage, biggest winner or biggest loser? If you are the market maker, the biggest winner. If you are a retailer, the biggest loser. That's it. I mean, I remember when I have started to trade with futures related to crypto, and I said, that's obvious. We are going up. So Inspo leverage 50, ranked number 1. Okay, crap. Didn't work. I will try again. It's obvious. We will go down. leverage 50. What happened? They wrecked me. To be honest, if you see it's obvious, like for example last year when we have really these dump phases, then it makes sense maybe to use high leverage. Because it's obvious if you check the candles and you can see just based on the candles if we are done or not, okay? As longer the candle, um, you know that we are coming to an end of this dump phase. So at the beginning, the candle is not that long. If you notice that, you can long there. Long or short there, short in that in that moment. You short there with high leverage, and you can do that. I don't use to make that kind of trades. Really not. I love, yeah, to be safe. I tried. I really try to make really safe trades. Just because I know they can surprise you at every time. But yeah, I don't use more than 15 to be honest. Thanks for your answers and time for this live. You're welcome, bro. Okay, then let me check just once here. Alchimia Moderna, thanks a lot for your huge effort, Inspo. What do you think about fractal analysis? Big hug. Every analysis is helpful. I'm not, I'm, okay, maybe I have to make a clear statement. Every kind of data and information, and even I don't like that. Actually, I don't use it, but I'm not saying that's useless. Even any moving average, any information is important. Really, every information is important. But don't limit it yourself just checking one kind of information. Be open-minded. That's the thing I want to say. So fractal analysis, yeah, go for it. Make it. Take a look. Entity analysis. I know some analysts, they say, come on, Inspo, entities. You don't know a lot of information just because of the entities. They are right. But my whole trade strategy is not based only on these entities, but it helps me to understand the whole market. Who is driving the market? Like I could say in the last weeks when the market maker is going to nuke just because of entity analysis, option trading, futures, and so on and so forth. So use all information you can get and try, of course, be careful with the data source, make your research. That's okay. I mean, make a quality review of your data, of course, and that's what I'm also doing. But use every data you have and try to feel comfortable with that. That's the key. Learn, learn, and learn. Okay? Because we are trying to figuring out what really clever, smart, and very experienced people are doing in the markets. They know how to fool retailers, and we are retailers. We have a knowledge about how they work, and we can try to figure out with all the data that's available out there, yeah, just to know what these guys are doing. Okay, that's our goal. That's it. And yeah, I would like to close now the session and to enjoy my my Saturday evening. So Harsaib, thank you. Also big love to India, bro. And I will check the last messages here. Inspo, if TX is getting rid of all their USDT and moving to USDC, do you think this is why they are buying all the time? I I I mean, I'm very transparent. Inspo don't like Tether, don't like Bitfinex. I don't like them. I have make a big research last year about how they work, what they did, and why banks don't want to work with them, why they are not transparent, making a full audit, and so on and so forth. It's just a question of time, in my opinion, and the approach you are mentioning, it's absolutely possible. I mean, just imagine they have billions and billions and billions in USDT. Maybe they're trying just to convert all these USDT in bitcoins and maybe then later wait what's going to happen to convert to another stablecoin and maybe not USDC. I mean, if Coinbase is going to fail, and I know many will say, "Ah, Coinbase is so big." Yeah, I know, too big to fail. We had this story enough of time. But I know companies, when they stop hiring, and I remember like the CFO of Coinbase mentioned last year, just because they did 4 billion US dollars, we are prepared for the crypto winter. After that, they invested and wasted a lot of money in an NFT market that collapsed a little bit. And taking into account the volume they have, I would have my doubt they are well prepared for the crypto winter if the crypto winter will maintain, to be honest. So yeah, we need to be very careful. We also know that the development of the Coinbase stock, and we should be very careful also with Coinbase. I'm using Coinbase sometimes. Just I'm mining doggy, so with a little miner, but it's much more a hobby. That was just for me to understand how mining works and so on and so forth. But yeah, I'm using my miner and it's connected to Coinbase, so all my doggy are there, and that's it. I like Coinbase. They have some really interesting and nice um, yeah, features like cold wallets for free. I had a lot of Ripple XRP, for example, and I used their cold wallets. It was extremely nice. So, but we need to be very careful, really, because we are moving to a critical phase of the crypto industry, and many say it's impossible that could crash. No, it's not impossible. It doesn't mean that crypto will disappear. I'm convinced crypto is the future. But we have accumulated almost 20,000 crypto projects, and 90% of these 20,000 crypto projects are trash. It's just partly part of, yeah, trash, fraud, scam, making copy paste of the code of different other projects. And usually, when this kind of innovative industry starts to spread a lot of projects, like they did in the last year, it doesn't end well. But it means as well that those projects with strong use cases will survive. Maybe 1,000 projects, 1,500 projects, but that's my opinion. So, yeah, I think crypto can crash, but it doesn't mean it will disappear. Otherwise, I wouldn't accumulate. Otherwise, I have 20% of my whole wealth involved in crypto. I wouldn't do that if I would know that it will disappear. Okay? I have a 2030 strategy. So for the next 8 years, I will buy every dip I can have, and that's it. But only 20% of my wealth. I have other assets like gold, other metals, watches, and so on and so forth at the same time. Okay, so I don't go all in only in crypto. Also, to be honest. Okay. Uh, Thank you very much, folks, for watching. Of course, we will, as you know, Sunday it's my breaking day, and Monday it's holiday here. So my next analysis will be Tuesday, but you know me. I mean, I'm providing many informations on Twitter, and I will try to bring me also very active on Discord again, um, and to provide more informations about what's happening and if I'm detecting something, and that's it. So be careful, guys. I love you all. Enjoy your weekend. Don't spend all the time front of the screens or front of your cell. Enjoy the nature. Enjoy your family, the people you love. Okay? And yeah, stick to your trade strategy, to your plan. We will make it. Okay? So have a nice weekend. Bye bye. Your Inspo.